Buongiorno, questa è la mia nuova camicia. Ho comprato questa camicia a Value Village a prezzo di $8 e poi metto queste lettere ebraici dietro. Questo è il mio nome ebraico. One of the things that Rabbi Barbara talks about a lot that I've noticed is how vestiges of a person's Jewish ancestry turn up in symbolic ways that descendants of the Jewish ancestors are in no way conscious of. These include rituals that the descendants perform without realizing they have any connection to Judaism. So this morning I was thinking for the first time about one of these in my family. I think I've said before that I was kind of like a servant in my family's family unit because apparently, well, I didn't know this, but I was an illegitimate child. I was not the son of America's Man of the Year. Now, if America's Man of the Year was the son of my biological father, then we were half brothers. Now, I got to say that America's Man of the Year did not like having me in his house. Okay. So, along with the browbeatings I took from him and the never-ending harassment from the tone of his voice to the expressions on his face, the slightest nuances displaying his distaste for having me around at all. At any rate, one of the things he expected me to do was any yard work to be done around our house. We lived in suburbia, so we had a yard. And anytime he had to do any yard work, I was to do it with him. Okay, not the other kids, me. So I was just thinking today that, well, we have the same father. He's of Jewish ancestry as well. And Rabbi Barber was hinting to me that his mother appears to be of Jewish ancestry as well. So that it's no surprise that people in Italy of Jewish ancestry would gravitate toward each other, even if, they don't even know that the ancestry's shared. They don't know that, but they just feel this rapport, let's say, and they get together and things click, right? And one of the reasons is they share Jewish ancestry. So, with that in mind, what was the biggest project that the Man of the Year undertook as a person living in Bethesda, Maryland, which is one of the wealthiest communities in the United States and therefore the world, right? What was his biggest project? And I got to say, I grew up in that area from the age of 7 and lived there till I graduated, from graduate school at age 24, pretty much, off and on. After 18, I was at college some and back and forth, but they moved from there, from that address in Bethesda to another address in Bethesda, not far away, when I was 24, and they remained at that other address in Bethesda until both passed away, mother and father. Now, what was the biggest project the man of the year undertook in his yard? And it was a major project. And I got to say, I never saw a single other family in Bethesda or even the DC area. I'm not familiar with anyone who undertook a project like this one. Okay, this was completely unique to the man of the year. I saw no other man or woman, for that matter, undertake a project like this. What do you think that project was? Well, the project was to build a wall, a stone wall across his backyard. Okay? And suddenly this morning I'm thinking, well, the Wailing Wall in Israel, I don't even know what city that's in. I don't know much about the Wailing Wall. It's what's left of the Second Temple, right? So that was in Jerusalem, right? I would assume. I think I'm in stage fright. I'm scared, so I don't remember things I normally know. But I think the Wailing Wall is one of the most important symbols of the historical presence of Jews. It's just about the most important archaeological evidence that they existed down through history. Since I used to get this magazine called, it was called Biblical Archaeology Review. And sometimes I'd read in there that scholars were saying there is no evidence of any kind of migration of Hebrews from Egypt. It's not there. Uh, yeah, the Wailing Wall is there. Okay, so there was a temple, and what's left of it is there. And this man who's in this wealthy community from this impoverished background as the son of a coal miner, and not just of a coal miner who was split up from his wife at a time when to split up like that back in the 1920s, well, it would have been 1930s. This was disgraceful. This is not to happen. And so the man of the year is living alone with his father from the age of 10 on in poverty. And he somehow becomes a doctor, and he's living among all these rich folks in Bethesda and the Washington, D.C. area. Well, what does he choose to do with his free time? He's of Jewish descent and doesn't realize it. He's in his backyard building a stone wall himself, and I'm building it with him. I got to build it with him. And well, I was just thinking today that wall he was building is a symbol for that Wailing Wall. And the Wailing Wall, right? His feeling of inferiority, his feeling of deficiency before all these rich folks. Somehow he didn't measure up. This is a matter of deep sadness to him, right? Of sorrow to be living among people who were not going to accept him socially. They accepted his work, and he worked extremely hard as a medical doctor. I'm saying this with hackles starting to rise all over me because he abused me so badly that I hate to say anything that's the least hint of praise uh, about him, but let's face it, as far as I go, I cannot just erase my past, right? Because I've suffered abuse. I can't just say, well, uh, I'm going to somehow take my entire experience in life and ignore that it happened somehow. I just can't do that. So I spent a lot of time with the man of the year in the yard that the other children didn't spend. I was always there. If he had to plant a tree or bushes, dig holes or whatever, I was there doing the job with him. So I spent a lot of time doing these things, and my mind was active, right? I was a growing child and thinking thoughts while I was spending the hours and the hours and the hours with America's Man of the Year this way. So I had to survive, and I did. So I'm saying that wall he was building, that was a symbol of his Jewish descent. He was calling upon for strength. Bye for now.